Hello, and welcome back to Redlegs Drinks. I'm Redlegs, and I'm still stuck in the hold of the Fortune's Folly, as to be expected. But look, I don't need these. All right. Captain's on shore leave anyway. So, as you may know, we're getting really close to Easter, and I thought, what would be a great drink for Easter? And then someone told me, which is what usually happens, what would be a really nice drink for Easter? And that is a whiskey sour, which is great. Being a pirate, a whiskey sour is something I actually need. Because you see, ships, when we go sailing for a long time, the sailors on board, well, we can get a thing called scurvy. And that's where the whiskey sour comes in, because we would have water, but that kind of goes bad. So what we decided to do was put a little bit of an alcohol in it, like a rum. And then in order to stave off that scurvy, I said, we would then add something citrusy with a lot of vitamin C in it, like a lemon or a lime. And it just so happens that a whiskey sour has got lots of lime juice. That's one of the key ingredients. In fact, we've got a lime juice right here. So that, and let's see, we've got a bit of egg white. And of course, what's Easter without eggs? So we've got egg white. We've got our whiskey. In this case, I'm using a rye. Why am I using a rye? Because I want to, that's why. And we have our simple syrups. Now I've got everything right here, but it's a bit crowded. So I'm gonna move some of this stuff. Oh yes, and bitters for the garnish. And I'll move some of this stuff off of this table. As I said last time, it's a wobbly table. I need to get the captain to get me a better table. And you may notice I've got two glasses here, and I'll explain that one in a little bit. All right, so first thing we do, put all our ingredients together right here in this. Now, we're going to start off with, well, you know what, just to make it easier, I'm going to start off with my egg yolk from one egg. That's right, I'll put that right in there. Let's see, we got lemon juice, fresh squeeze. Now, we don't need all of this from one lemon, we just need some of it. About, I don't know, 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice right in there. Get this out of the way. Now, as you all know, lime juice, yeah, very sour. So in order to balance all that out, I made my own bit of simple syrup. Now, making your own simple syrup is, well, in a word, simple. You take half water, half sugar, you put it in a pan, you boil it until all the sugar dissolves inside the water. Simple syrup. I've used about a cup and a half of water and a cup and a half of sugar to put this together. Once again, 3/4 or so of an ounce, eyeballing it. These are drinks. Everything is, you know, if you like extra sweet, you can put extra sugar in there. If you like it a little bit on the more sour side, you can put a little bit more lemon in there. Absolutely. Now, I need the whiskey. So for the whiskey, I said I've got my rye right here. Rye's a little bit stronger in flavor, spicier maybe, a little bit drier, not as sweet. You can definitely make this with a bourbon or an Irish whiskey if you'd like. I'm going to use 2 ounces of my whiskey right in there. Okay, so that is all 4 of our ingredients. The only thing I haven't added is the bitters, which I'm going to put in last. Put that over here. You want to cork this up because, you know, don't want evaporation. Now, I'm going to do what's known as a dry shake. Now, a dry shake is you're going to shake up all your ingredients, but there's no ice in it, so the ice can't get it all wet. And the reason you do that is because of the egg yolk, and it froths it up. I'm going to shake it and shake it and shake it. Now, when you do a dry shake, you have to be careful because unlike a witchy, this tends to build up a bit of pressure inside. You can start to see it's already trying to squirt out. Back in there. And I don't want that to happen. Don't want it to come all squeezing out until I'm ready for it. Okay, that's pretty good. Now, I'll squeeze it in there too tight. Can't get it to unlock. There we go. Sometimes you just got to show these things a little brute force. And now I'll do the wet shake. Take one of my nice big rocks, put that in there. And one of my little pieces of ice in there. And they're going to bump around in there to create tiny little chips from each other. There we go. Now, oddly enough, when things get cold, that actually tends to squeeze the top into the bottom a lot more. You know, the whole air pressure thing. There we go. Oh, feeling really cold now. All right. Let's take a look. This will come clean eventually. If not, just play some fancy music while you wait for this to come apart. As I said, it's that pressure from the air. Oh, there we go. Now, normally, you'd probably want to double strain this. You know, put one strainer like this right here, and another one to catch all those ice chips that be flying out. But I don't have a double strainer, so I'm just going to use the one. Oh, look how frothy that is. There we go. Just put it all right there in the cup. Ah, beautiful. And now, I shake this up a little bit too. Make sure everything's coming together. Put a couple drops. Oh, look how pretty that is. And now for the important part, the tasting. Ah, that's lovely. I feel healthier already. All right, now, as you noticed, I had 2 of these glasses. So, how do I say? Does that mean I have to share this one? No, I'm actually going to make a second one. It's going to be a wee bit different. And so I have to go get another ingredient. And because I don't have much, I've got to clean up some of these other ones. So I'm going to be right back to make the second one. Did you miss me? Maybe your aim will get better soon. Anyway, so this is what I was talking about as a special, different kind of ingredient. So this is Aquafaba. I know it's a strange sounding name. It's a made-up name, but it comes from 2 Latin words, aqua, water, and faba, bean water. What kind of bean water? Well, have you ever gotten a can of chickpeas and then you take all that water and you just dump it down in the sink? Well, that's what this stuff is. But some really, really smart people figured out exactly how to use this stuff. There was a Joel Rosal. Joe Rosal was a musician. Anyway, he noticed that when you shake it up, it got lots of got very foamy, and so that's interesting. And he went into it and found he can make really kind of interesting foamy things with it. And a German chef by the name of Goose Volts, he then took the same stuff and he used it as a meringue, as an egg white, and made meringue with it. And you know, those very clever individuals. And so they figured, you know, if we can use that stuff to make a meringue, maybe we can use it to make a whiskey sour. So that's what we're going to do. And then I'm going to test them out, because that's what you do. That's science, to see which one is actually better. So let's get started on our drink. So once again, we're going to do 2 ounces of whiskey. Here we go. It's 1 and 2. You have to be absolutely precise with this. Of course not. You're making drinks. Now, if we were making cakes or pies or something like that, sometimes you got to be a bit more precise, especially with baked goods. This isn't baked goods. This is drinks. Now, let's see. Oh, let's put in our Aquafaba. And we're going to use, I'd say, about 3/4 of an ounce. There we go. 3/4 of an ounce. Put that right in there. All right. That's 2 of our ingredients. Let's see what else. Oh, yes. We definitely need to have a bit of syrup. Okay, we're going to use that. The same amount. All right, so we've got our lemon juice here. We're going to do about 3/4 of an ounce. Once again, everything's about 3/4 of an ounce. These things. At least for this whiskey sour. And the dry shake. Now, remember, the dry shake is the one you do with no ice. You just shake it up there and make sure you hold on to it very tight because it wants to separate. Okay. Now we go for the wet shake. And I've got my ice. Let's see. First, I'll put in my big piece of ice. Slide that on there, and my small piece of round ice. Back on. And now the wet shake. You probably wouldn't. Do I really have to do a dry shake and a wet shake? Of course not. Do I have to actually use an egg yolk or the Aquafaba? Of course not. We're just doing because it makes things taste better and look nicer. That mattered. You could probably just drink whiskey if you wanted straight. Okay. Now comes that tricky part again. There we go. Oh, it's amazing how much they seal together when you do that. But it's nice and fluffy. Our drinks. Okay. There we go. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. Bring up our original. And we don't want to forget our bitters. Go a few shakes of the bitters. It's a bit of a garnish, also optional. All right. So, cheers. It's quite tasty. Also quite tasty. There's maybe a little bit of difference. I'm sure there's other people who have better taste buds than I who could truly tell the difference. If you gave these to me in a blind taste test, I don't think I could tell the difference. So we've got 2 of them here. The traditional and the new version. And what's nice about this new version is, let's say you're working at a bar and you don't have eggs, or you're afraid of them going bad, you know, they're being out in the warm and getting all that yolk out and doing all that stuff. This makes it a bit easier, doesn't it? Also, if you happen to be maybe a vegan who likes to drink, there you go. So both of these drinks, pretty much the same. Enjoy them either way you like it. And remember these parting words of wisdom. When wine, whiskey, and song becomes too much, give up singing. I'm Redlegs, and this has been Redlegs Drinks.